Hey guys, I'm back and I want to have a little discussion today about the 20s depression. Now, I feel like everybody goes through that depression, like right in your early 20s, like you're 20. I think it hits in your like when you're like 22, but I think it's even hitting earlier now. But definitely I think it starts when you're like 22, you know? And I feel like that 20s depression, it's like we just are realizing how unprepared we are for the world. You know, our friendships are changing. We're going through toxic love, you know, or ending of our first loves, or, you know, we're just like navigating the world, like, but we're just so unprepared, you know? And I just feel like that 20s depression is so crippling. Like, nobody, it makes you feel like nobody understands. Like, I know when I went through my 20s depression, it was like an outer body experience. It was like I just was existing, and it was like I wasn't happy with anything. And half of the time, I couldn't even figure out what I was so depressed about, and I just like know that a lot of people lay in their beds and just cry and don't have a reason why. But now that I feel like I've grown a lot, I feel like I know why now, why I was so upset. Like I said, our friendships are changing. We're unprepared for this world, and the world is kind of cruel and unforgiving, and it's like you're on your own, and makes you feel like you're alone, because when you look around you see other people doing this, doing that. And when we're in our 20s, I feel like we are comparing ourselves to the people who we went to school with, and maybe someone married, just had a baby, and maybe you don't, and it makes you feel like it's something wrong with me a little bit, and it makes you a little bit depressed even more. We're paying bills that we barely can't even afford. We paying bills that we didn't even learn about. What the mother loving is a property tax. What the bum. And it's just like, the truth is, like, society says that we should be doing this by this age. I know many of us in our 20s will be like, oh, when I'm 26, I'm gonna have me a big house, I'm gonna have this, and then you realize that the world don't work like that. I think it's devastating. And sometimes, what is that word? What is that word? There's a word. Discouraging. And a little bit discouraging at times. It just like makes you just feel so alone in this big world, and you see people on social media doing these things that are the same age as you, and you're just like, why can't I have that, And it's just a crippling depression that most people don't want to talk about. But that 20s depression, I feel like that's that depression that's going to make you who you are. That's that depression that's going to build you up. You're going to learn like all these lessons and use it later on in the future. All your suffering is not in vain. I promise you that. And I'm super, super glad that I stuck around to figure that out, Like I said, it's like we just have this concept by 30, everything needs to be perfect. Everything needs to be in order. But it doesn't work that way. And I feel like if you're struggling with depression, you just have to realize that this is just a human experience we're living. you know, and you can make it whatever you want to be. Like, I know people are like, well, how can you say that? But it's really true. This is literally a human experience. It's not like your final destination. After this experience, you're going to go somewhere else. And please realize, like, in this experience, you may want that car, you may want that $200,000 ring or 2,100, whatever love, you know, jewelry, but you can't take it with you when you pass away. You can't take it to the next journey. So I just feel like, don't worry about that stuff. Worry about how you feel inside. I feel like you should worry about your self-love and who you are as a person, not what you got, not where you are in life. Like, literally only worry about the present moment. And I know it's super hard, especially when you're going through your 20s and you're in a depression. It's just like your mind just stays in the future, and that's mostly the cause for our depression. We're worried about the future. But try your best to stay present in this moment. What can you do in this moment to change your future? You know, I know it's hard in your 20s when you feel like so alone and you're just not making progress. But I promise that if you stay present in the moment and figure out like what you can do to make yourself feel better, or what you can do to make your future better, I promise you that your depression will kind of go down. I promise you that your depression will go down. I promise. And to also in this moment, what you can do in the present moment, stay in gratitude. Be thankful for everything. You have to realize that when you're going through that depression, someone in this very moment is dying. Someone in this exact moment is being murdered. Someone in this exact moment is being laid to rest. Somewhere in this universe, that's what's happening. But God woke you up, or whoever you believe in, the divine. But the divine woke you up for another day. For what? Figure it out. What do you want? You know, how do you feel? And if this is your last day on earth, then I just feel like you should live it feeling good about yourself. Don't worry about what you don't have. Don't worry about how you're gonna get something. Don't worry about that. Live in the present moment and live for today, because you know tomorrow's not promised. And obviously you woke up for something. Take your time in this life. It doesn't matter what somebody else has or what the divine has something else planned for you. And I know there's someone here with depression that's just like, there's nothing planned for me. There's nothing good. I've been suffering since so and so, so and so. But what are you going to do to help your suffering? What are you going to do to get out of that suffering, you know? It's a human experience that we're going through. And I need everybody to realize that if you can talk, breathe, if you can talk, breathe, you're fine. You are fine. If God woke other people up that can't walk, who can't see, who can't, but you can. So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with that gift? You need to be thankful for that gift. Don't worry about what a millionaire is doing. He can't go in the grave with that house. He can't take that car. She can't take that $300,000 weave with her. She could. She could.
Shantae! Shantae! Take your ponytail!
But it'd be a waste of money. Now she died with that weave. I wonder if they take it out. I don't know. But what I do know is that stay in gratitude. Be thankful for everything that you have. Be thankful for this moment. You know, be thankful that you can even watch this video, whatever, you know. But trust me, I know that 20s depression is super, super, super crippling. You just want to stay in bed and cry, and the outside world is telling you that you need to work. You need to be here. You need to be out of your parents' house. You need to be, you know what I mean? Like, and half of the stuff that you see on social media is not real. That's not them people's house. That's not them people's car. That woman is probably having sex with so many men just to have that expensive bag. And no way am I shaming her, whatever. That's what she want to do. I support her, but I feel like a woman like me, I want to get it on my own, you know? I don't want to open my legs just for something I can buy on my own in the future, you know? Or maybe you want it now, but it doesn't matter. Most people let their wants rule their lives instead of their needs. And I feel like when you start thinking about your needs instead of your wants, and be present and be grateful for everything that you have, your depression will literally soothe itself. It'll just start to melt away, disappear. Because if you think about what you need, you basically have everything you need. Are you able to eat? Are you able to walk? Are you able to hear? Are you able to feel love? Are you able to do so much that another person can't do? Be thankful. It could always be worse. And I know, like, people have said that like their whole entire lives, but it's true. It can always be worse. And there's somebody who's going through worse things than you. And when I went to Africa, I always like get put back into the present moment and remember to always be grateful, because I feel like, especially in America, if you live in America, we forget that there's other countries that don't even have the things that we have. And even me, I complain about America too, and all the things that are happening here, and how basically we are slaves to the government. But there's still things that I am grateful for, and there's things that I shouldn't take for granted, because everything can just literally change. And I feel like people need to always remember that there's third world countries that are struggling so bad, that can't afford food. You know, here, if you're 8 years old working, that parent going to jail. But over there, you can be 5 years old working with a baby on your back, you know? Like, I feel like there's so much that you can be thankful for in this moment. But I know it's hard when you are depressed. It's hard to see those things. It's hard to hear that, because you don't want to hear that. But please, 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 if you're going through like that 20s depression, listen to people who tell you that. Don't just shove it off, or, you know, because I promise you, you'll just sink and drown even more when you don't have to. You're choosing to suffer. And I know people are going to be like, my depression is not a choice. It is a choice. You have a choice to feel good. Turn on your favorite song and feel better. Dance like nobody's watching. Forget about the opinions of others. Forget about what other people are doing. Your life is not meant to be like somebody else's life. We are all meant to live different lives and different struggles. That's how we learn from each other, you know? But it's a choice to feel how you want to feel. Be happy. Be grateful. Everything is a choice. Even if, like, somebody passed away that you love, you can either be sad about it, grieve about it, be angry about it. But I choose to be happy about it. And I know it sounds messed up, but it's just like, I believe that they're like at peace. They're with God. They are not suffering anymore. They are on the next destination in their life. So basically what I'm saying is, I understand understand that the 20s depression is a horrible thing, but if you can just choose just for a moment to be present, to be grateful, to be thankful in this very moment, I promise you, you'll feel much, much better. And please realize that what you're feeling is a choice. You have a choice. I know that you feel like you don't even understand why you feel this, but you don't even understand what is going on. There's so many changes, there's so many unknowns in this world. But I promise you, just feel gratitude, be thankful, and change your attitude in this very moment. Be present. So thank you. That's all I wanted to say, and I hope you guys come back. Please comment, subscribe, like. I think I got it. But thank you. Bye.